Hi, in this video I will be talking about I will be talking about my experience with the mock session, highlighting about my strengths and weaknesses and what I can prepare myself for in the future. So I first wanted to start by saying that I had originally wanted to do my mock session with a friend. I had prepared for it, everything, and then yesterday she called me telling me that she wouldn't be able to come over, and the only person available was my daughter. And it just so happened yesterday she goes away for the weekend, so I only had a limited time frame to do the session, and she was a trooper and she helped and she did an amazing job with little preparation and limited time that we had. So I was very nervous about doing the session, just because everything was last minute and I had prepared for one thing. So I was mentally prepared to do one thing, and then last minute I get told it was a lot. But I was able to do it, and it was really nice to do it with my daughter. So that was fun. So I want to first start with my strengths that I noticed after watching back the video. I liked how I used play-based strategy. So I incorporated a coloring book. I brought two coloring books, so that she would be able to choose which one that she liked. Because I felt like it would create just a openness to start the session. And I wanted her to have a safe space for her. I found that I was able to give her time to explain her feelings and talk about them in her own way. So when she was describing her experience, I gave her time to speak on how she felt, and I felt like I did a good job with not interrupting her. I liked how I liked my opening after the consent part and just breaking down everything to her. I liked how I didn't just dive right into the session. I let her pick her coloring books, and then she was able to take time to figure out the page that she wanted to color on. And after each time she talked about how she felt, I gave her positive feedback. So just a little side note, my daughter started school already, but we've already had conversations regarding her starting school. And I know she had mentioned before that she was nervous, with going into the classroom, meeting her teachers, and seeing her friends. So I kind of wanted to bring that into the session just because it was so last minute, and that was the only thing I could think about to kind of make it into a mock therapy session. So I was like, okay, let me just try to bring this in, because when I picked her up from school earlier that day, she did mention that, like, we did talk about it, because I think that was her third day. She was telling me about how she was little less nervous, so I wanted to use that as a tool or guidance on what to talk about so that we can have so that I could do the video. And I also liked how I asked open-ended questions that allowed her to reflect and express herself. I felt like in the video that was a strength that I liked. I gave back positive feedback, and I reiterated what she had previously was speaking on, and so I was able to engage conversation through positive reinforcements and highlighting parts of what she had mentioned when she was describing her going to starting school and how her feelings were. So some of the weaknesses that I noticed was my time management. I attempted to include all required components within the 15 minutes, but I did feel like this made the transitions slightly rushed. I noticed that I think I was just kind of more nervous because of how it was just limited time, and it was a lot going on, and I just feel like I was rushing because I think it was more because it was a child therapy session. So I was trying to visualize like if this was actually a real session, like how is it supposed to be done? Like I'm assuming the parent would be or the caregiver would be there, but I'm like I'm the caregiver, so how can I like incorporate everything to the best of my ability? So I felt like I was rushing. Um, I wish that I gave her more time to color her pictures instead of going right into the session. Because I did notice that right when she found I don't know if it was like a ladybug or whatever picture she decided, and I was just like, she like started coloring, and then I was just like, okay, let me dive right in. So I wish that I gave her a little more time. I had so like I mentioned, when I thought about doing the session with my daughter, I had already was privy to the idea that she was nervous, her feelings about being nervous and all that. But then in the video, she started mentioning how she was happy. She mentioned about how her teachers gave, I think, like positive or shout outs. Her teachers gave me shout outs, and that threw me off a little bit. So I was trying to find a way to incorporate that. And I don't know if I did it well, but yeah. So I wish I knew so I could have tied that in, but I tried my best. When we talked about useful tools when it comes to big feelings, mentioned deep breathing, counting, and going towards one of her teachers for reassurance when she's feeling sad. I wish that I had demonstrated the breathing exercises, like we could have done some together. I could have been more engaging with the coloring with her while we did the session. And I could have, oh, I saw that I did validate her feelings, but I could have made more space for her to process those feelings better by giving her more space for her feelings in those moments before looking for the next thing to say. Going forward in the future, I would like to deepen. I would like to deepen my emotional reflections. I want to encourage more client-led reflection by asking more open-ended questions, exploratory questions. Um, if this was an actual real life scenario, I would include the parent slash caregiver in the final session that support continuous therapy outside of these sessions. And lastly, I would maintain flexible pacing to allow for more processing time without rushing between these key phases. In conclusion, this mock session allowed me to practice the delicate and important process of ending therapy with a young child. It showed me how important it is to speak to child's language, celebrate their growth, and provide them with more tools and have the confidence to continue growing on their own. I will continue growing in my ability to navigate this stage of therapy with care and intention. Thank you for watching.